Hey, welcome back to Swords of Legends Online. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Endgame, aka Student Level 1. Let's begin. First on the list is doing the overview tutorials. You've probably seen this already in the cultivation tab. Here you have multiple tutorials. You have the PvE tutorial, PvP tutorial, and life content tutorial or leisure and fun. Each of them have something special to give you and rewards as well, so completing them is very important because this will give you the gear you need to do the content reserved for those sections. That being said, completing the PvE gear, the tutorials, you're going to get a lot of gear from just doing the normal dungeons, let alone the rewards from doing and completing the tutorials on those items. Same thing goes with PvP, you get a good setup. It gets you ready for PvP and gives you all the PvP gear you would need to start PvPing. Just like I have multiple blueprints here. I put all my PvP gear on my number 2 blueprint. And you can also see some of the PvP aspects of the things when you want to unlock more tiers. As you level up your character and your PvP level, you'll be able to get unlocked more tiers to purchase these from the NPC in Cloud Rise. So that being said, going into the next piece of this is the cultivation dailies, weeklies, and event calendar. Inside the event calendar here, you're going to have, again, your PvE, PvP, and life content specific to what you want to work on. Now, a lot of players, if you want to min and max every content, you can do that, but everybody doesn't have time to do this. And one of the benefits of Swords of Legends Online is the fact that we can choose what we want to do for each day or what we want to focus on as a whole for this game. So going into that, you have a tab at the bottom, be able to switch between PvE, PvP, and life content in this case, and be able to play the way you want to and get rewarded for what you want to do. Going into the weekly, again, it's going to tell you when it's going to start and when it's updating, when it's going to reset essentially. So in this way, you're able to determine how long you have before the specific event you want to complete for that reward may be going away. So if you're looking at getting a specific reward, this is how you're going to be able to do it and be able to time your stuff correctly based on the events and the daily versus weekly. Going into production list, you can then see if you just want to farm specific things where you don't really care what you're doing, if it's PvE, PvP, or life content, but maybe you just want to farm all the gold you can possibly get. You can actually sort this by clicking on those icons. So if I sit here and click sort, this is going to show me everything that gives me PvP rewards. If I switch it to Mysterious Parchment, I can see everything give me those rewards. I can go back to the top and sort by gold, everything that gives me the most gold out of the game for the game. If I want prestige to level up my prestige layer, I can see what gives me prestige as well. So this production list shows you everything as a whole and tells you when those events are going to appear and how much you can get out of those events if you were looking for money or if you're looking for these different items that you want to be able to purchase through prestige and other things like that. Going into the event calendar shows you the week. So every day, every time the week resets, it's actually going to tell you exactly what to expect for that next week. So every Thursday, we're going to get another calendar just like this, and it's going to give you the dates, times, and things like that of those specific events, right? They're events in the game. They're not events as you would think of when you're going on a forums and looking for an event like BDO where it's like time limited. This is not really time limited, it's just window capped, right? So you have to go play, you know, if you want to do demon elimination, you have to be on from 11 to 1 for today. And the next demon elimination is next Tuesday, right? So that's really what it comes back down to. Going into the progress, you can do each daily dungeon one time. So a lot of players I saw in chat were very confused with this, where they thought they could only get rewarded for doing a single dungeon. You can actually do every single dungeon here and check it all off. It's same thing with a hard. Hard resets every week, every Thursday. And then the green resets every day. And then once we have the harder dungeons, those will reset every Sunday, which will be orange color. Going into the target, you also have the ability to obtain free cosmetics by just completing different instances and these completion states for these achievements. So once you complete 120 of this, you actually receive a full set of cosmetics just for that. The next piece I wanted to show here is the faction level. I'm not going to go too much into faction because this is a whole thing by itself. But once you hit Student 1, you'll be able to pick a faction and jump into it. You'll be able to get rewards through PvP and cosmetics as well. The second piece here is a dungeon codec. So a lot of players don't understand that if you don't understand a dungeon or not sure how to play a specific dungeon, this actually is where it gets useful. I would like them to update this, but that's a whole nother issue in itself. Now inside here, you can actually select the dungeon bosses that you're going to be facing, and it's going to tell you their skills based on which mode you're selecting. So if it's hard, normal, or night, and going in on that. And it's going to tell you the kind of strats you should be looking at depending on what class you're playing. So I'm playing Spearmaster, I'm going to be doing tank. So it's just, you know, doing this specific thing is what I'm going to be focusing on. And it gives you a nice little strategy on what you should do as that type of character. And you can read their skills and mouse over what to expect when you're fighting these types of bosses. One of the things is that here it says guarantee hit, and it says, but it can be interrupted, right? So if you see them casting it, you can always interrupt them. So this is a nice little thing to read, especially when you're trying to figure out the best way to beat a boss and get that time, getting that time piece there. The final thing I want to go into is the Astral Essences. This is for PvE specific. You'll be able to get Astral Essences just by playing the game, completing different things such as the hard difficulty dungeons and the normal dungeons, and just XPing for quest lines and things like that. You're going to be able to complete that. So those are the main pieces of the game that you want to play. Going into other pieces of this, you have achievements, you have your player card, you have companions, you have prestige, you have collectibles. There's a lot more you can do. I'm just giving you the first bit of the game, of what I'm working on myself, from just building up my housing to building up my PvE and PvE gear. Hopefully this video has helped you in understanding what to do at Endgame, aka Student Level 1 in Swords of Legends Online. If it has, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, leave a comment below what you're excited for in Swords of Legends Online and what you're focusing on, and like always, take it easy.